Hello everyone, my name is Karan and welcome to the channel TechMaestro. For those who don't know about TechMaestro is basically a platform started by me. It's a community where people come together and they help each other succeed in their software engineering jobs. It helps in both inside succeeding within a job and getting a job as well. In this video, I'll be starting a new series linked list and this video will cover the basics of linked list, and upcoming videos will cover more details and detailed topics about linked list. So without any further ado, let's start with this video. To, to start with, we'll uh, understand what linked list is and why did they come into existence. So to understand that, let's try to understand how a list is stored in a memory. So how is list of data stored in memory? So, to store a list of data, there are two ways that we can store them. One is in an array, and the other one is linked list. So, array we have already covered, but I'll give you a gist. Array is basically a continuous block of memory. What is array? Array is a continuous block of memory, whereas linked list is a segment of memory connected together via some link. So first thing that should come to your mind is, when there existed array, why do we need linked list? So like I said earlier, array is a continuous block of memory, and the problem with that is we may or may not have a large memory available all to, in one place. So if you know how our memory system works, so memory is divided into chunks, and every program and every every program is given some memory from that entire chunk, right? So what happens is, when it is divided, so there are pieces available, there is enough memory available, but that enough memory is divided into pieces. So it's very hard to find a chunk or a big chunk of memory all sitting at one place. So to utilize different chunks of memory, the linked list came into picture. So what is a linked list? Like I said, it's a segment of memory connected together. So now let's talk about, let's take an example. What does it mean? So let's say if I have to store a list of integers, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say if this is the case. In case of array, what will happen is you will store this into one single place. Let's say if this starts from 1004 and considering 4-byte integer, so this will be 1008, 12, 16, 20 and 1024. So this entire block of memory, this entire block of 20 bytes of data will sit together. But in case of linked list, what will happen is this will get divided into pieces. So 1, 2, 3, just drawing it down because I don't have space there, 4, 5 and 6. Now if what we saw here 1004, these are the addresses of the memory, and if you see they are continuous block of addresses because they are continuous block of memory. Now in case of linked list, these addresses can be random because they don't depend on the previous memory block or memory location. They are all it needs is like, where is my next data? So all it needs is the link to a connection between these two memory uh, memory places. And once we have that link, which is represented by this, this is the link that I'm talking about. So these memory can be anywhere in the entire, the address can be anywhere in the entire memory block. So this is what linked list is. So now let's talk about linked list further. So one part, this in a linked list is called, this in a linked list is basically called a node. What is a node? Node is basically a combination of data and a link. Data, this is the data part and this is the link part. So linked list is basically a connection of nodes. And what is a node? Node has two components, data and link. So node is basically made a combination of data and link in a linked list. And linked list is basically a list of nodes. Now we'll talk about the type of linked lists. So there are three type of linked list. One is, I'm sorry about that, sudden jump, sometime it happens. Single linked list. So what is a single linked list or a single linked list? So what we saw here is there is a connection between two nodes. So a list in which one single connection is present between two nodes. So basically, whenever, so the example that we saw earlier, what is a single linked list? A list where two nodes have single connection between them. So in the example that we looked at earlier, this example, where is, I'll draw it again. So let me take a different color marker so that it's easier for you to understand. 1 is connected to 2, is connected to 3, and so on. So between two nodes, this and this, there exists only one single connection, right? So this is what we call singly linked list. And generally, this is basically a forward direction. This the direction of the link is generally called forward direction. We'll use this in the next, when I'll explain the next type of linked list. This notation of forward or backward. Now, if you see that the entire list is connected via links, but there, how will you identify a particular linked list is via a head pointer. A head is basically a variable or something, does not matter what. Head basically points to the first node of the linked list. So this is what head is. And there is one more concept called tail. Tail is basically last of the linked list. And head is starting of the linked list. Start of linked list. So this is what singly linked list is. Now second type of linked list that we have is doubly linked list. I think you might have guessed it already as well. Singly, after singly, there should be something like doubly only. So what is a doubly linked list? What we saw earlier was, there was, I'll draw one more time and I'll convert this linked list into doubly. This was my singly linked list. But when there is both forward and a backward link, so forward link points to the next node and backward link points to the previous node. So this is basically what we call doubly linked list. It's similar to everything else is similar to the singly linked list, but here we can go both in front and opposite direction. So okay, now the third type is circular linked list. when tail slash last node of my linked list points to first node, it becomes circular. So as we saw in the previous example, in both doubly and singly list, the last node generally points to null. Here also it is pointing to null. But in case of circular linked list, what happens is the last node points back to the first node. So the example will become, I'll draw my first example again using the same color pen so as to avoid any sort of confusion at all. So this is my normal linked list. Earlier it is pointing to null. So if I just point it back to my first pointer, that is when it will become a circular linked list. So this is the three type of linked list that we have. In the next video, what we will cover is, we will cover insertion in a linked list. We will cover all the scenarios that occurs when we insert an element or a data in a linked list. So keep watching. Do go ahead and like this video. Write in comment what else do you want me to create a video on, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join the community for more such amazing videos. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.